Let's start this question by just sketching out a tile. 3 by 4 by 5 triangle with a right angle. Okay, now we want to try to combine these together to create a rectangle which is of size 2016 by 2021. It'll be very challenging to show that doesn't work, so in the first instance it definitely makes sense to attack the problem by trying to make it work. Let's see if we can do that. Now you could maybe combine these triangles in different ways, but one that kind of jumps out is to create a rectangle that's 3 by 4. Seems a good starting point. Right, so now I've turned this problem into, can we use a 3 by 4 rectangle to create this larger rectangle? And we could just take copies and put them next to each other. So I'm going to leave a little gap, not because there is a gap, but just to demonstrate, just to like show the difference between each one. And I could continue this, put some dots there, and say it finishes there, okay? And then one down here. Okay, and I can carry it on. I've got one here as well. So all of these are length 3. This is just my first attempt. These are all 4. And this carries on as well. Right, now let's have a look. 4 will divide into 2016. It's going to be 504. So I could put 504 of these tiles in this direction and I'd be sorted. If I look at the other direction, 3's into 2021, then go 6, 7, 3, remainder 2. Okay, so I can't do that. I can't just combine these together because I can't quite get that 2021. If it was 2022, we'd be done, but we're not. Now that doesn't mean we can't tile it just because 3 doesn't go into it. Okay, there might be another way of doing it. We might just have to move things around. Notice that 3 does go into 2016 because the digit sum is 9, so it necessarily will. And we get 672. Okay, that is worth bearing in mind because maybe we could take this and rotate it, and then we could just put them along this dimension. That could work. It messes with things a little bit, but we could get 504 lots of these length 4s, and then 672 of these length 3s. It's just we then have to be able to fit it in along this direction here. So I'm going to take this this division and I'm going to write it in a slightly different way. So 2021 divided by 3 is equal to 673, remainder 2. That means we haven't divided that 2 yet, and so we can write it like that. And we can rearrange that to 2021 is actually 673 lots of 3 plus an extra 2. Okay, and that 2 is what is making this awkward. But what if I made it 672 lots of 3, and then I added that 3 on? I've now got 5. Okay, still not useful. But if I then do 671 lots of 3, then suddenly I have plus 8. And this is really good because now I can fit 671 lots of this 3 in, and then I can fit 2 lots of 4s. Okay, I'm kind of running out of space. I just want to create a bit more space. So that will go against that. Okay, the majority of this shape is going to be made up of the ones here on this orientation. It doesn't look like it, but this is not to scale. Am I going to get this happening? And it's going to work. So I'm going to have here, 504 length of 4. And then along this direction, I've got 600. So all of these are 3, 671 lengths of 3. And oh yeah, that's going to equal, I need to do 2021 minus 8. It's going to be 2013. And this one's going to be 2016. So then I'm just left with this other orientation where I've got two lengths of 4. Which is going to give me 8, which is going to give me my overall total of 2021. And then down here, because 3 goes into 2016, I'm going to have 672 lengths of 3. So, like in the real thing, I'd obviously write a little bit more, but I feel like I've justified what is going on. It is possible to combine these tiles, okay, make it into this rectangle to form a rectangle of size 2016 by 2021. Just use the 4s nicely to get 2016, and then use a lot of them with the lengths of 3. Just leave a gap of 4 here, okay, to create this. We've got a 2013 by 2016 rectangle, and just to finish it off, change the orientation to give this length of 8. We can fit in, because 3 goes into 2016, we can fit them in down here, and we are sorted. Just one more note, this is not the only way that you could make it work, so the answers do it slightly differently. Here's their picture. So I used the lengths of 4 in the 2016 direction, whereas in the answers they used the lengths of 3, so they fit in perfectly. And then the lengths of 4 are used for the 2021 direction, but 503 of them are used, which then leaves 9, which we can then change the orientation here. So different answer. I mean, I'm sure there's other answers as well. There'll be maybe an infinite number of ways of doing it, or at least a lot. But basically, the question was to say, can it be done? And now I've shown 2 different ways. Nice.